What's up, you guys? It is currently 11:06 at night. I'm very tired. I've had a very long day, but I promised a good episode tonight, so that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to come through for you guys. Earlier today, I went on live and I got a lot of requests to talk about the drama that happened with SS Mamas and the Queen team the end of last year and the beginning of this year, so I guess I'm just going to try and cover some bases on that tonight. Um, So I guess just a little bit of background with all of that. I started following Kelsey and Cody last year. Don't really remember like what time frame it was. It was both like way before either one of them like really blew up or anything. I really liked their content. They caught my attention. They both very much fit like the kind of content that I personally like to watch. So I liked them. It was really cool when I got to see Brittany and Cody and Kelsey all come together. I've been following Brittany for a very long time, probably since like the beginning of last year. Um, anyways, so it was like one of those things where I wanted to meet them and meet them in real life, and I have not met any of them in real life still to this day, which is totally fine. Um, Given the circumstances that happened behind behind everything. So, me and Kelsey and me and Cody and me and Brittany were all mutuals uh, towards the end of last year, and I like knew how to contact them or whatever. I had talked to them each before, and so going into the SS Mamas thing, it was like a group of 15 girls going in who all really hadn't ever met each other in person before. It was definitely a clout chase. It was definitely we had seen everyone else getting together and making content together. When you see something like that from an outside perspective when you haven't done it before, it seems like these girls are getting together and just like bonding and just like having a good time, and you don't see like everything like behind the scenes. Obviously people only put on social media what they want you to see, so there was like a lot of FOMO. There was like a lot of very small accounts. Back then, this was when I had almost 700,000 followers, and me and one other girl, which is Alex, Cup of Alex, we had the highest count. We had the highest follower count out of everybody. Everyone ranged from like 2,000 followers to almost 800,000. Um, so it was a team effort. There was a lot of girls who came in and out of all of it. But like our biggest inspiration was when we started to see Kelsey and Cody and Brittany all get together. And it was Donna, who is Flight Bay, had tagged me in a video or something and was like, we should do a meetup. And then so we downloaded the WhatsApp and we all started to like invite like all these different girls who we were all kind of mutuals with, who we all knew. Um, there was me, there was Flight Bay, there was Tara, which is TC Hux. There was Alexandria, Elaine. I'm trying to think of all the names because there was a lot of people. There was Fort Hubs, who's Katie, Jessica. There was one feisty mama, who's Giselle. Triple Rose, who's Courtney. There was Rachel Luckhart. Um, let's see who else was there. Alex Marie, Cup of Alex. Um, wow, I really can't think of everyone right now. There was quite a few girls. And half of the girls who I can't even remember their name from the beginning of the WhatsApp conversation or anything is because they came in and out so quick because the drama happened so quick off of the bat. Now, mind you, it started out with a few girls and it started to grow pretty quickly with more people who were like, oh, I know this person, I can invite them, and I know this person, I can invite them. And so, I actually invited in Cup of Alex. I'm the one who told her about it. I was the one who wanted her to be a part of it. She had just recently moved back to Arizona after moving away for a while, and me and her were what I considered very, very close internet friends. She was someone that I talked to a lot. She was someone that I really bonded with. You know, she did kickdoor videos like me back when I used to do them. I got a really good vibe with her, like, you know, just over talking with her and watching her videos on TikTok. And so, you know, that was someone that I could definitely see myself being friends with. And when I first started following her, she had actually just recently moved out of Arizona to another state, and was leaving her relationship. And when she was moving back, that's when like everyone was talking about getting together and, you know, starting this whole big like mom group. And it was supposed to be like this bad moms club thing. And um, you know, shit like really turned south really fast. I met Alex for the first time basically a year ago, a little over a year ago now. She came to my Halloween party. It was the first time I ever met her. And we had spent every weekend together after that, basically up until I want to say January. So it was the end of August until January. Her and I were very close. Her and I were basically correlating this whole entire um, WhatsApp chat, group chat, or whatever with all these girls who wanted to meet each other. I'm the one who got together the Airbnb for the SS Mamas trip, which if you don't know what SS Mamas stand for, it stands for shit show. Um, so that was like a lot of drama because a lot of the girls when they decided to leave the group, they wanted their money back, which was fine, but then that left me having to pay out of pocket for spots for this expensive Airbnb in Scottsdale that I couldn't afford myself and I didn't want to pay for it. So it was just a lot of drama with that. So now you're probably wondering what the drama was over. So, like I said earlier, with the whole me having the ability to be able to reach out to Kelsey and Cody and Brittany, I had made it known in the group chat with everybody that I personally knew them, like on a level where I could message them and that, you know, I could reach out because people were saying, you know, oh, how cool would it be if, you know, Kelsey and Cody and Brittany came and like did like a guest appearance and this and that and, you know, could just come out and make content for the day. And so, you know, I reached out to like every single one of them. Kelsey had a charity event to go to. I think Brittany said she didn't want to come because she knew there would be alcohol, which we totally respected that. And it took Cody days to respond to me, and by the time she responded to me, I think she had said, or Brittany had told me that Cody was going to be with her that weekend anyways, so I just told her never mind. I didn't really talk to her at all. So this was during the time after that Cody Elise's video about the bad moms TikTok, whatever, had hit several millions of views. And so everyone in our group chat kind of like lost their shit and just like started talking a bunch of shit. And, you know, Alex was like, she's, you know, gaining, you know, all of this clout off of a stolen idea because someone in the group chat probably went and already fucking told her our idea and like what we were gonna do with the Bad Moms Club and just like took off and like ran with it and was just like ranting and getting pissed off over and over again. And everyone was just sending all these nasty voice messages saying how, you know, it was probably this person that left the group chat because of um, them not liking the fact that, you know, they felt like we were competing with the Queen team when we weren't. It was more of like we wanted them to be a part of it, and then some people just decided to like opt out and they didn't want anything to do with us. They wanted to be friends with like just solely like Brittany, Cody, and Kelsey, which was totally fine. There wasn't even really any drama yet. So, we all felt like it was one specific person who was Alexandria Elaine who was going back and forth starting shit with people and, you know, passing off ideas. And so Yeah, it was mainly Courtney whose triple rose made us all think that. And so I took it into my own hands and basically kicked Alexandria out of the group myself and told her to fuck off. And I think she's a snake. And there were several messages and voice messages that went around that kind of circulated that proved that, because that was my character at that moment. I thought that I was trying to do the right thing for the people that were trying to grow and make this awesome group of women, which was like mistake number one, or should I say two, because my first mistake was ever being friends with Alex. So, moving on, because I tend to ramble and I apologize for that. Um, but after telling Alexandria to, fuck off and go away, that's when all of the screenshots had gotten sent to Kelsey. And at that point, they were from Alexandria because I pissed her off that much that she decided that she was going to actually send that stuff to her. And that's when Kelsey posted that video, with basically only things that I had said and left out everything else that everyone else had said. I basically was targeted on that, and that was because of the point that I was the one that took it upon myself to reach out and talk to Kelsey and invite her. Um, to which, I said certain things like, you know, Brittany's too scared to be a bitch to her followers, and she has Kelsey and Cody, to basically tell people to fuck off and do her dirty work for her. And, that wasn't right of me to say, but that's how I felt at the moment because Brittany is just a very nice person, and I really didn't feel like that was slandering her name. I really felt like that's who she was at that point in time because she had a lot at stake, and she had to be this certain person and icon on social media, and to a point she still does. But I just felt like I don't know, that was like my opinion at the moment. And so that was one of the screenshots that was put out there. There were screenshots of Alex's part of the conversation that the name was cut off, and so everyone just fucking assumed that it was mine, and it wasn't. And no matter how many times I proved it, people were still going back on the fact that I said that Brittany's too nice to be a bitch, and which, people just tore me apart. I got death threats. I lost like several thousands of followers over it. Kelsey's video hit really hard, and no matter what I said, I was being called a narcissist and being told that I was gaslighting, even when I was just trying to tell my point of the story. Um, while also trying not to drag other people down with me and just trying to understand, like, why is it that I'm the only one being pinpointed on this whole entire situation when there were like 15 other girls involved? Why am I the only one who's a target in all of this? And I think it just goes down to the fact that, like I said, I'm the one that reached out to Kelsey, so everyone thought that I was fake for that, which I don't blame them for thinking that. Um, there was just a lot of people who were riled up. I mean, when you're in a group of women and you get riled up and people are talking shit and they're mad over something that seems significant to them at that point in time, but it's not actually significant at all, you're kind of influenced by that. And that was a bad part of on me, and so I continued on, with the SS Mamas after that, and tried my best to stay part of this group that we were trying to get together, and took away the bad moms idea, and Alex came up with a shit show mama thing or whatever. So don't worry, it's gonna start getting better from here, I promise. I'm kind of just dragging us, trying to just kind of give you guys like the facts and details so that there aren't so many left out parts. But um, anyways, so I think that there was like 11 or 12 of us that actually went on the trip, and there was a few people who just like flew in for the day. So by the time we did the trip, I want to say it was like the beginning of January. I want to say it was between like the 10th and the 12th or whatever. We went to the Airbnb. It was me, Cup of Alex, Javi, Giselle, Courtney, Jessica, um, little Alex, Sam, Jules and Carrie came in, flew from California for the day. There was Donna. Donna was there too, and it was just a bunch of wild ass women in one fucking Airbnb. It was insane. And the whole time I was there, I actually like hid in the room almost the entire time. I only really made like one night of like content, and it was I think the last night that we were there because I was so overwhelmed by everybody's energies that I would have to disappear and just like not be able to really deal with anybody, which is fine. You know, everyone else is having fun. But the whole thing is that I thought that this was gonna be like a weekend to get together and actually like hang out and make friendships, and really it was just everybody getting drunk and wild and crazy and making content. And then I mean, there was a lot of fighting. Like that's what people don't see goes into this. And this isn't the first meetup I've been to, so keep that in mind. There are several meetups that I've been to, but I haven't always posted about where these girls just get together and all they want to do is make content. They don't build relationships, they don't build bonds. And I'm not saying that for the current stuff that's going on, you know, with Kelsey and Brittany and Bonnie and V and Shannon right now. Like, I have nothing to do with that. I have no perspective of that. Like, I don't care. I think what they're doing is great. I'm talking about my experiences has just been women who get together and only want to make content and get drunk and get fucked up. And they don't care about anything else. They care about making content and getting paid and look at me, look who I'm with, like give me the attention, give me the views, give me the clout. And so that was always really disappointing to me because I actually just wanted to have fun. And so I don't know, like I just it is what it is. So there's, you know, there's drama behind all of that, and there's always drama in like these group chats. And so you know, after the trip and everything, shit just got like really bad. Like I had one really emotional night where I opened up and I talked to all of the girls about something that was extremely personal to me. And that's my bad for ever thinking that I could trust people, period. Um, I opened up about something that was very personal in my life that was earth shattering, and um, I definitely regret that. So, basically after the trip and everything, it was just uh it was things were just they were falling apart. They were you know, people didn't know how to clearly communicate with each other. People were fucking talking behind each other's backs and overwhelming everybody, and you know, we're meeting up with each other outside of the group, and then stupid things would happen and people would get into fights, and then it would get brought in the group chat, and then we'd have these stupid fucking group chat meetings like over the phone or like over Zoom or whatever. And like it was like one by one, like Alex was kicking another girl out of the group every fucking week. Like every fucking week she was kicking somebody out for some reason and influencing the group to not like them and make that person have to like apologize and do all these things. Otherwise, they weren't going to be allowed to be a part of the group anymore, which was so dumb because they sat there and they talked so much shit about the Queen team and about how they know that they're managed and that they're not allowed to be friends with like other people outside of, you know, each other, like if they don't like each other and this and that. And they, you know, it was just so fucking ridiculous. Like it was so crazy to me. Like all these rules that applied, and like if you didn't agree with it, like you were booted. Like you were not going to have access to anything. You were blocked out of everything that had anything to do with the SS Mamas. And so slowly I just, you know, I tried to be there for Alex, and meanwhile she's still coming over to my house, and like the first fucking person she wanted to kick out of the group was Donna. Like she hated Donna. She couldn't stand her. She came over to my house and talked so much fucking shit about her to me and Derek and to little Alex and to my best friend Big Carrie. Like I have witnesses there of like her saying this, and you know, saying how, you know, she's like old and like washed up and no one wants to, and like she was like the same age as us, which was so dumb. Um so like there, yeah, there was like to start out with that, like she didn't like Donna, she didn't like fucking Courtney, she didn't like Hobby. Like she kept telling me, she's like, give me a go, like give like tell me it's okay, and like I will kick like this person out and that person out because, you know, I need you to be like on board with me. And so I'm like, I think that that's dumb. Like, I don't think that anyone should be kicked out of anything unless like they really do something to fuck up. And it was like a constant need for her to like be on top, like Cup of Alex, like to be on top, like to have like say and control of, all of these women. And, she always acted like she was so fucking busy and people were always just ruining her day and just like she didn't have time to deal with anybody, but she had no problem like hopping in to tell everyone like, hey, fuck you, calm down, like get in your fucking place and shut up kind of thing. And she made everyone think that everyone else was talking about each other, and to the point where everyone did end up talking about each other. So some of the first people that just like Alex like knocked down was like there was like little Alex. She stopped being friends with her randomly out of nowhere, which is really stupid because little Alex didn't do anything to her. And then Carrie got kicked out of the group just because her and Rachel got into a fight when they were drunk or whatever out in California. And just everything just started to kind of just really change and everyone was kind of getting divided, and I'd call Alex and I'd check on her and, I'd ask her, how are you doing? I know that you're overwhelmed. I can tell by your responses in the group chat. Like, if there's anything that you need me to do, let me know. Like, everything's all right. I know we're planning our next trip and all this. And she would just be like, I just can't fucking do this. And like, I'm the only one that, makes an income in my household. And, she would talk shit about her boyfriend and say all these fucking things. And I just always wanted to be like that friend for her and just have her back and make her feel like heard and like her weight on her shoulders didn't have to be so heavy all the time. And so it got to the point where I just felt like I was not a priority to her, which was fine. I mean, I'm a very low key friend. I don't need a lot of attention, even though she liked to go around and tell people that being friends with me is exhausting. It's absolutely not exhausting. If anything, it's annoying because you never fucking hear from me. I have so many people that can vouch for that too. Um, but anyways, so combining like all the stress and the drama that happened with the Queen team and Alex just like sitting back and letting me take the fall for that amongst everyone else, and then Alex getting pissed because I made like the rebuttal video saying that Alex was the one who actually said, coincidence, my big fat pussy, and that she's gonna make like merchandise off of that and shit. Like, she was mad at me and then she wasn't mad at me anymore. She basically got what she wanted from me because that whole SS Mama like thing, legitimately, that whole platform was built off of my platform. Like, almost no one from any of the other girls' accounts, hardly at all, were like from them. Like they were from me. They were from my platform. Like they were from Derek's platform. They were from us going live and advertising and us talking about it. And so, I helped get them within that weekend of us being in Scottsdale at the Airbnb. I got them 50,000 followers in less than fucking 72 hours. 50,000 followers. That's insane. 50,000 followers. And meanwhile, Alex is selling merch throughout that whole weekend and made a few $1,000s and didn't even tell anybody. There were only a few of us that knew about it, and she didn't like give any of us merch. She didn't like offer to pay for anything. She didn't offer to like split anything with anyone, like, or even acknowledge the fact that she was literally making money that weekend, like off of us. And then after that, treated us all like shit. Like, had no respect for us. Like, she looks at people as things that she can benefit off of and make a profit off of. That's all anyone's ever been to her, especially if you have like a following, because she's never friends with people who don't have followings. Like, that's just not how Alex rolls at all. So, um, there was that a lot of the girls didn't know about, which, whatever, it is what it is. Money is just money. Like, who gives a fuck? But after, building that platform and everything, um, around, like the end of January, Alex, really kind of stopped hanging out with me out of nowhere. She made excuses, which was fine. I mean, But then she'd be like, don't be mad, like I am gonna be in town, but it's, to go get weed or go do whatever. And so I'd be like, it's fine, like you're good. Like you're the one who said you wanted to come over. If you don't want to come hang out this weekend, like I am totally fine with that. Like I do not care. Like, oh well. Um, I think that because I wasn't pushy to like be her friend anymore, like she was starting to get pissed off, which doesn't make any sense to me. But the more that I think back on it, because I've had almost a year to reflect on this now, and just like there are certain things that to me, I'm like, it's like weird sociopathic, like narcissistic behavior from her. And it's typical female narcissistic friendship female behavior from a person. Um, so long story short, one of the biggest issues was that I had become really good friends with Tiffany Alyssa. I have been following Tiffany Alyssa from YouTube since I was about 17 years old. Maybe a little bit younger than that. She was one of my first like idols. Like she was someone that just like I could not wait to see her videos when she came out with new ones. Her and Jenna Marbles were like top tier to me. Like absolutely love them and Glozell. Um, well, Tiffany actually ended up acknowledging me one day, like, and we became friends. Like, we started talking, like, we exchanged numbers. And so I told her when we were planning on doing the California trip, which Alex was still not sure if she was going to go on, but I still wanted to go just to go see the girls. I told Tiffany, I was like, I really like it if I could come out there and meet you. And she was like all for it. She was totally down. Like, she was excited. She wanted to pick me up from the airport. Like we planned this. And so I told the girls, I was like, I um am meeting like one of my all-time idols. Like I've been dreaming of this day forever to like meet this girl. And I was like, she's gonna come to the Airbnb, like she's gonna pay for her spot, like I'm obviously gonna pay for mine or whatever. And so um I told everybody. I told everyone that, and then everyone acted like it was such a big inconvenience, especially Alex. Alex threw like the biggest fit and tried to like tell everyone that she didn't know that I was bringing Tiffany, and she was pissed. I think that I don't even know. I'm not even gonna try and make any assumptions here. I just know that she was upset that I was bringing a friend and that I was actually gonna go to California, and she wasn't planning on going. And then once I was actually going and I bought my ticket, she was all of a sudden just like she felt like she had to go. So she decided to go. Um, anyways, okay, so this is where shit's gonna. You got to keep up with me, okay? So originally, when I was going out to California, Giselle was supposed to pick me up. Um, Giselle is still one of my biggest fucking enemies to this day. Like this bitch can go get fucked and get her shit rocked. I'll tell you that. Um, But she was supposed to pick me up, and then when I told her that Tiffany was gonna pick me up instead, like Giselle was fucking mad at me about it or whatever. Um, so there was like, Alex in her ear, like talking shit to her and saying all this and that and whatever, which, fucking cool, dude. Just keep your drama going. So Alex stopped talking to me like 5 days prior to the California trip. And I had a feeling in my gut. I was like, something's not right. Like Alex never not talks. She never not talks to me. She never like doesn't acknowledge me or like at least text me and like let me know what's going on or whatever. And so I wrote her several times and I was like, hey, are you okay? Like, why aren't you talking to me? Like the other girls are like, oh, I've talked to her, like she's fine. And I'm like, okay, well if she's talking to you, like why isn't she talking to me? Like I just am checking on her like I normally do. And then she finally texted me like the day before because I sent her a voice recording of me literally sobbing because I had the worst feeling in the pit of my stomach about this weekend. And I was like, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what I did. It's just like really fucked up that my best friend is not responding to me, but you're talking to everybody else. And so she responded and she said she was busy. She was just busy and that was it. And so I was like, all right, well, cool. So I get to California, a few days later, and as soon as Tiffany picked me up, I was like, I just want to let you know, like, I think shit's about to go down this weekend. Like the vibes are really off. It's really uncomfortable. Like I'm honestly kind of scared to go this weekend because I don't know what's gonna happen. Um, oh, I left out a part. So there was a bunch of drama in the group chat, and Alex messaged me and she told me, she's like, I left the group chat. I just want to let you know, like, I love you. I just can't handle it anymore. I don't even, I don't know what to do at this point. Like, I just need a break. And I was like, that's fine. I was like, you're my best friend. Whatever you want to do, like, I'm down. Like, if you don't want to go on this California trip, like, I won't go on this California trip. If you don't want to be a part of this group anymore, I won't be a part of this group anymore. I was like, I'm honestly fucking sick of it too, because I feel like every day it's something new with these girls. And I told her, I said, I owe no one any fucking loyalty. I don't owe anyone shit. The only people that I'm invested with is, you, Alex, and Carrie or whatever. And I guess like I fucked up on that part, but like at that point in time, like it was true. Like I was really only emotionally invested in those girls because those were the girls that I seen like all the time. Like they were my friends. These other girls were people that we were just meeting up with, and they were causing a lot of problems in my fucking life. So no, why would I owe them any loyalty when they're just these people on the internet who I've met one time in person? Well, she made sure to screen record that and send it to everybody, get everyone pissed off and festering up before they seen me that weekend. The only person who didn't, there are only two people who didn't know that weren't gonna be there. It was Giselle and Donna. And Giselle was on the trip, but Donna wasn't gonna be there. But even Jessica knew, and Jessica lives all the way like way across the states or whatever. And she made sure to send it to everybody. So basically, I walked into this weekend of everyone hearing that voice recording and me not knowing it. Um, and and basically Alex, who I've heard from several sources, tell everyone to treat me like shit that weekend and to not acknowledge me in a normal way that they would and to make me feel uncomfortable. And that's exactly what they did. When I got there, they wouldn't even fucking answer the door for a while. Jules let me in. They were very rude to Tiffany. Alex, when I first walked in, was sitting on the couch, decided to get up, walk past me, go right outside to the back door, smoke some weed, come inside, and then Tiffany had to ask her, like, are you gonna say hi to Heather? And she still didn't. Like, she just acted like I wasn't even there, which was so fucking weird and out of character for her because usually she went from this girl like being like wanting to be my girlfriend and like be in love with me and like tell me like, if we both weren't dating men, that we'd be together and all this shit. Like that's how deep our relationship was, and that's what people don't get, and that's why I was so pissed when all this happened. Um, But Alex still acted really like I wasn't there until it was time to make TikToks, of course, because, people want me in the TikToks because of the amount of followers I have. So why the fuck not have me in it? Because it's going to get more views because people either fucking hate me or people really like me. So, bad attention or good attention, it's still fucking attention. Rachel was sitting on the couch and I kept asking her, I was like, dude, what is wrong? Like, why do you seem so weird? Like, when me and Rachel were in Scottsdale, like, we bonded really hard. Like, she was one of my favorite people who I actually met there. And she has like the best, like silliest personality, and she's so goofy and so sweet and so down to earth. And she was one of the only people who took an interest in me and like wanted to sit down on the couch with me and like talk to me and just like hang out. Like she was that person who just wanted to sit there and vibe like me. And so, she was like, oh, nothing's wrong. Like, I'm fine. I'm just, it is what it is. Like, she made up some weird fucking ass excuse. And so I was like, okay, whatever. Courtney was completely fucking shitty to me because that's just Courtney's behavior, period. Like, she tells you not to like someone, and she's like, okay, and just treats them like shit because that girl doesn't know how to fucking think for herself. Um, and, Jules was just Jules. Like, I don't really know if Jules has ever liked me or not, and it's fine. And then Giselle showed up later, and Giselle didn't know anything about the voice message at all. And so that whole night, they were shitty to me until they wanted to make TikToks. And then after that, everyone just went to bed. And no one had told me that we were going to breakfast or doing anything in the morning. And so Everyone woke up really early in the morning. Me and Tiffany were still sleeping. I like woke up or whatever. Everyone was leaving and they were like, "Oh, we have 10 minutes till our reservation." And I'm sitting here like, I don't know what's going on, but like, okay, maybe we'll meet you guys there. And then so it took us a little while to like get up and get out of bed. You know, we were tired. We stayed up partying all night, which is, it is what it is. And we got ready, and then one of the girls who was a follower of all of ours really wanted to meet everybody. And so I was like, yeah, come to the Airbnb and then you can ride in the Uber with us. So when the girl got there, we made a TikTok or whatever, and I used Courtney's little like stand, like light stand to, hold my phone. And I left it outside. I didn't bring it back in because it was outside on a fucking private patio. I didn't think it would be a big fucking idea to leave something like that outside. So we finally get to we get on the Uber, we stop to grab some White Claws or whatever, and then we're heading to the beach where they were, and they're like, "Oh, we're leaving. We're gonna go get something to eat." And I was like, "Okay, well, me and Tiffany and our friend are just gonna go and we're gonna go hang out at the beach for a little bit, and then we'll meet you guys later." And so I let them know that we were leaving the beach. Hold on, let me backtrack a little bit. I told them that we were going to go and we were going to hang out at the beach and then we were going to get some food. And so when we were done getting food and hanging out at the beach, I called them and I let them know. I was like, we're on our way back to the Airbnb. Um, no, that's not right. We were heading back to the Airbnb and I got there and absolutely nobody was there. Nobody had sent me a text message at all telling me any updates after that. It was more or less like fucking text messages of them just like bitching me out and just treating me like shit and mad because I wasn't a part of anything, even though every time I tried to get somewhere, like they were already leaving that place and I already had paid $100 for an Uber in fucking California. Like I wasn't gonna keep doing that. It's expensive. It's expensive as fuck. Um, so I get there, I'm locked out. It took me 10 minutes to get a hold of anybody. They finally told me the passcode to get into there. Me and Tiffany sat down at the table and ate Taco Bell and looked each other dead ass in the eyes. And we were like, I told her, I was like, I think we should leave. Like, I think we should go. This is not a good situation. Like, let's pack our stuff and let's leave. So she went home with her boyfriend Jeff, and I got a hotel by myself down the street. And I stayed the night at the hotel by myself. And I passed the fuck out. Like I was so tired, I was so drained, I was so emotionally just like fucked up. Like I had felt like I had been punched in the guts like several fucking times. I woke up at I think it was like 5 o'clock in the morning and my phone was just blowing up because that night when I had went to sleep, Alex had decided to take it upon herself to make a video on TikTok saying how she does not claim me. The SS mamas do not claim me, and that she's going to leave it at that, and that she's going to break the hearts of hundreds, if not thousands. And it just was this whole video. It was just extremely fucking distasteful. It was uncalled for. They knew what they were doing. They knew that they were making me uncomfortable. They knew they were treating me like shit all weekend, and they knew I wouldn't put up with it. And so Courtney sent me some really nasty voice notes too, and she was calling me a fucking pussy and like all this shit, just like degrading me, like degrading me. And so, I woke up and I start vomiting, I start shaking, I'm like convulsing in this fucking hotel bed by myself, not knowing what to do, freaking out. Everyone's calling me, texting me, asking me if I'm okay, if I'm all right, like where am I? Like I'm supposed to be there with them. No one knows where I'm at. And I had to explain to everybody like I was uncomfortable. I was physically and mentally uncomfortable and I felt like I wasn't welcomed and I felt like if I stayed there that nothing good was going to come of that. Well, I'm honestly really glad that I didn't stay because that whole day that they were out at the beach while I was, Ubering around trying to find them and get to wherever they were, Alex was in everyone's ear once again, making up lies, saying things that I had never said. Do I know the full details or remember them? Absolutely not. I just know that it had to do with, um, Alex telling Giselle about the voice note and misconstruing it and basically making everyone feel like I didn't care about them and that if I didn't participate on this trip that it showed that I didn't care anyone or care about any of them and that I was showing my true colors by not being there, but she was there for them and that she loved them and that she was their friend and she would never do that to them. And that basically I was replacing all of that and trying to get clout through Tiffany, which was really funny because Tiffany didn't even have really any followers on TikTok then. Um, so I had by far way more than her. So there was no clout chasing in that at all. And she wasn't even really working on her YouTube channel anymore at that point either. So it was just a genuine, like, I wanted to be friends with this girl. Like, I'm still friends with Tiffany. Like, I still talk to her. Like, she's still a really good friend of mine. I care about her a lot. She's a very good and genuine person. And she has never done anything to make me feel like I'm not a good person or that I'm not a good friend. She's never made me feel like she's not a good friend or that she doesn't have the best intentions. Um, so yeah, I mean, I ended up going to the airport and I missed my fucking flight and I was a wreck and I had to wait 3 more hours to catch my flight because they'd messed up my ticket. And I got home and I just couldn't believe the shit that was happening and that my own supposed best friend had just posted all of that stuff about me on social media for everybody to see when there was no legitimate reason for any of that to happen. Um, I still to this day just question like what it was about. And I don't really care. I have not talked to Alex since California. Like I haven't. Derek wrote her and asked her what happened, and she was just like Heather happened. Like that was her response. Heather happened. Because she had no explanation. It was just she had no reason. She just did it just to fucking do it. So after that, she continued to post quite a few more videos, and she um, kept saying, she doesn't feel bad about, how she went about things, and that my husband's cool, and it is what it is. But yeah, so it was really hard pulling myself out of that too. And so that's when I just ended up deleting my original TikTok account because no matter how hard I tried or like how many things I tried to avoid and just be a good person, it was like my life was against me at that point. And I couldn't do anything right. So I took a break and I took a step back and just tried to heal from all that. And there's a lot of drama following after that, especially with Giselle, who is a licensed therapist who threatened to talk about all the things that I had personally told her on the Scottsdale trip, which was really fucked up because she's literally a fucking family and child therapist. And the things that I told her, she um, she threatened on live in front of hundreds of people who were trying to figure out what was going on and that she was going to come out with her side of the story, which literally proved nothing except for what I was already saying back then, which is exactly what I've talked about this entire time. Proved fucking nothing. Um, After that, I got kicked out of the treehouse thing that we had, like the SS Mama huge whatever treehouse chat that we had. And after that, anyone who got brought into the group was basically told about what I had told everyone on that trip. And it had circulated for months. I mean, months that it was going around and I had no idea about it. And it was coming um, from Alex and Giselle and Courtney. And, it's really fucked up that, I mean, I found out even before any drama happened that they were telling people about what I had told them. And it really hurt me a lot. And I had to, confront a lot of people. And CPS got involved with my kids, and just like a lot of unnecessary things, and a lot of threats were made, and a lot of big creators were talking about things that just shouldn't have, no one should have been talking about. I couldn't imagine going around and talking about somebody's business like that, especially when it involves their children, and just basically laughing at them and telling as many fucking people as they can. It's just really shitty. So, me and Giselle got into it, and, uh, you know, what's crazy is that Rachel was actually the one who called me after the SS Mama trip, the one in California, and told me that Alex told everyone to treat me like shit. I mean, she called me crying because she felt so bad because she knew what happened was wrong. And so, um, I kind of got a little bit of peace with that, knowing that Alex influenced everybody and made it out to be something so much bigger than what it was, and that these girls were so fucking easily influenced to treat me like shit when I had done nothing personal to them except listen to their bullshit and be their friend. And encourage them, and be there and hang out with them and correlate all of these things, and it just sucks really bad. And so they had even put me in a position, um with before the California trip. They were hanging out with Brittany Jade, Giselle and Jules and Courtney, and I think Rachel was there. I'm not sure if Rachel was there. And they FaceTimed me without even telling me what was going on, and basically put me on FaceTime with Brittany, and I like had to like apologize to her, and it was just very awkward. And these girls just put me like in a lot of really awkward situations, which I'm glad that me and Brittany got to talk and talk things out, but um, who knows what they were saying then. But it's really funny how after they hang out, with Brittany and everything, and then, we're all hanging out and meeting up, that they're just sitting there talking like all this shit, saying that Brittany is actually a really big bitch in life, and so is Cody, and how they can't stand them, and they're self-centered and all this shit. And then, after they don't want anything to do with them, like all of a sudden, they're always on like the next fucking thing of what 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 person can they attach themselves to, and try and possibly get clout off of, just like the whole Vegas trip with them when they all went to Vegas. They weren't there to have fun. They were there to piss people off and try and get clout from people, and I it's just disgusting to me. Um Nothing's ever about fun anymore. It's always about what kind of attention can you get. So that's why, like, I just will never do a TikTok meetup again in my life, that was definitely the last one for me in California. It didn't sit right with me. I don't ever want to go to California ever again, honestly. California just leaves a bad taste in my mouth anytime I've been there. Something's happened. So, but I I don't really talk to any of those girls anymore. Some of them, after Alex decided to one by one fuck them over after I got kicked out of the group, and every single person that was in the group is no longer in the group. And people who came in after me and hated me and blocked me have now unblocked me and apologized to me because they realize and they see what kind of person Alex is. And they saw that side, and now they understand that, I a lot of us were just like really fucked up and fucked over by her. And she has no friends, and I don't care, like, she's getting her fucking karma. Like, she can sit here and act like she's a good person all she wants, but she's not. But things have been at peace ever since I haven't been friends with her, for the most part. And I just feel bad for anyone who gets like invested in her, because she doesn't have the right intentions for anybody. I mean, she doesn't. I'm not gonna sit here and shit talk any more than I need to, but I just know things that I could say that, even though it might make me feel better, make me feel better to get off my chest, it's just really not worth it. So I'm just not gonna do it. Um, But I will keep in my head the memory of, the good times that I had with everybody, and with Alex, the time that I did have with her where she was my friend. She was very fun to be around, and I liked her a lot. I really loved her as a person. Um, but yeah, it's just amazing. These girls, like, don't fall for these fucking girl groups. Just don't even get yourself invested in it. Outside of the SS Mamas, there's been a few other meetups that I've gone to, and I'm not going to mention names or anything, but even then, they still just it just ended up in us not being friends, and me being disappointed because the intentions um were the exact opposite of what I think that should have been. So, um, stay safe out there. Like, just understand, like, things aren't always what they seem. And trusting people really sucks. And a lot of these big creators out here, or even small creators who act like they just don't give a fuck about anything, and they're friends with everyone, and they're hopping from one friend to the next, and they're collabing with one friend to the next. It's because they're not actually friends. They're not friends. They're clout chasing off of each other, and one person is actually probably into it, and the other person's not, or they're both not into it. But I can guarantee you, they're both not actually fucking friends. Like, I know a lot of things that other people uh, don't know, and it's not up to me to even talk about, but I'm just saying it just causes a lot of drama. So Alex doing all of that, I mean, literally, like, that aside from Bree, my ex best friend that I talked about in a separate episode, this is the only other person who's really fucked up my life in a way that made me go, holy fucking shit, like, this person is like like fucked up, like, took a lot of my happiness from me, took a lot of my joy from me, like, really made me feel like I was not a good person. And no matter how much I tried to explain my side of the story, it just was not being heard because people just really wanted to believe that, oh, of course it's Heather. Like, of course, Heather's, this piece of shit person. She's not a good friend. She's an alcoholic. Like, she's an ex drug addict. She's not a good mom. Like, of course, Heather's always involved in the drama. Heather always has something to say. Like, Heather's always there when something goes wrong. But little do you know that there are so many other people who it took to make that situation work, and I was just the very easy scapegoat in that situation. I was the scapegoat for a lot of really bad situations because other people don't want to deal with things, and other people want to make someone else look like the bad guy and like they're the hero, or like they weren't even there at all. So I learned my lesson with that for sure. I the girls that did apologize to me, like, I forgave them. Like, obviously we're not friends or anything, which is fine. I don't really want to be friends with any of them. Courtney Triple Rose is another person I just will not deal with at this point anymore. Like, I actually just literally cut her off for good, like, I think yesterday or the day before, because that girl only ever talks to me about drama, and I just get so sick of it. Like, I just, for once, I would like someone to call me and ask me, like, hey, how are you doing? Like, how are the kids? How's your life going? Instead of, oh my God, this person fucking pissed me off, or did you see this person's TikTok, or did you, it's like, it just gets so fucking draining. Like, try being a caring person and actually care about someone, and not just calling them to vent and then going and talking shit about that person that you just called the vent to about somebody else, and then those people talking to each other and finding out that you're fucking talking shit about both of these people who you just called to vent to about, like, it's a huge cycle. So yuck. I mean, Rachel's still a sweetheart. I don't really talk to her that much, but we're still friends. Jessica apologized to me, but we've never really talked since then. Me and Alexandria or Elaine are good. I mean, we really had it out with each other for a fucking while, like, bad. Like, we were at each other's throat, like, just at the most random times for, like, whatever reason. Like, I really fucking hated her, and she really hated me. And I wanted to blame her for all my problems, but um, I slowly, like, I got myself away from that and, like, wanting to blame her, but I still felt like if she just, like, kept things to herself, like, maybe things wouldn't have escalated so quickly. I just felt really embarrassed. I felt really ashamed and just very targeted with all of that. So, um, but uh, trying to think like who else. Like me and Donna are still friends. Like me and Javi didn't talk for like a really fucking long time. Like now we're mutuals again. Me and Kelsey are mutuals on, TikTok. Cody still hates me, but I'm sorry guys. I don't like her. She's very self-centered and doesn't give anyone the time of day and only follows herself on social media, so that's just weird to me. And then, me and Brittany are still mutuals. We've talked a few times. She's a good person. She's very inspiring. Like I said, I don't know these girls in real life. I just know that, they've defied the odds both in their own ways, and I never meant to disrespect them. Um, and, hopefully they know that by now. I've apologized to both of them, so. But yeah, so I mean, that's like the majority of what went on with the whole Queen team drama and the SS Mama drama. There really isn't that much to it, just like a whole lot of shit talking and a lot of betrayal and a lot of really big misunderstandings and a lot of miscommunications and people who had it out for each other and just wanted to be famous and wanted attention and recognition and money. And yeah, I mean, that's what it is. That's why, I took a step back from social media and I stopped posting so much and I stopped trying to make friends or care about, I grieved that time. I grieved. I took months to grieve. I cried it out and just wondering why, I couldn't find like a good friend, but I just realized that, the more that I want a good friend, the more that I don't get that, and that's because the universe only gives me like what is meant to be for me. And I've accepted that, and so that's why the very few people that I have in my life, I'm very grateful for them, and I'm okay with being by myself, and I'm okay, with my husband being my best friend, and being home and just posting when I want or whatever I want and not having to cater to anyone or have any drama outside of any of that. You try to bring drama into my life, I don't talk to you, period. So yeah, I mean, I hope everyone is happy with the decisions that they made, and I hope that everyone got something out of the experience. But I feel like some of us really grew, and I feel like some of them still are just so stuck and so gross and so petty and so disgusting and never have good intentions. I don't even think that they know what good intentions are. I just think that they wake up in the morning and think about me, 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 me. Like that's it, just like me, 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 me all the time. Um, so yeah, more fucking power to them. That's good. It's golden. But I hope that covered our bases, and I hope that that answered some questions. I'm sorry if you get lost in the story. If I need to make another part, like breaking down details, you guys know how to get a hold of me. You guys know how to stop acting like you don't. Okay? Um, but yeah, I mean, I know people are probably gonna wonder, like, if you were around for a while, like earlier this last year, you probably know what the insinuations were with the big creators talking about it, because like Baby Egan and shit was like involved in it, which she's a whole other, that girl will not ever have my respect either. And a few other people were involved in the stuff that was being talked about and going around, and why CPS was involved. If you were around for that, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you were not around for that, then you're gonna have to wait until a later episode to figure out what that is. And you guys will only know what it is or the truth or what I'm talking about unless it comes out of my mouth. So until then, please don't make any insinuations. Please do not make up any rumors. Please do not go and talk to other people about what you think it is. Please do not manifest bad negative energy. I would really appreciate that. Let's keep this a safe space because I'm being open and honest with you guys, and so all I ask from you guys in return is that you be respectful back to me. Because I am taking the time out of my day and my life to share these things with you guys. So I love you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of my journey. Thank you for giving me the platform that I have. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye.